There is absolutely zero doubt in my mind. Rachel Meghan Markle was a semi-expensive yacht girl, and she knows it.
Many of you have seen this picture already. You see that there's Meghan with her Cajuna hat.
When Sarah Ferguson spoke this time, the entire royal world stopped in shock. What came out of her mouth wasn't gossip, it was pure dynamite.
Everything happened because of Fergie.
One single phrase sent shockwaves racing through Buckingham Palace. It caught Prince Harry completely off guard and left Meghan Markle trapped in one of the most explosive rumors the royal family has ever faced.
Meghan Markle was introduced by Sarah Ferguson to Prince Harry.
It began so quietly, just a simple chat and that familiar smirk from Fergie. But then, one sharp reporter caught the words that would turn everything upside down. Meghan was Andrew's first client.
He said Miss Markle was a close companion to Prince Andrew.
In an instant, headlines exploded across every outlet. Social media went absolutely wild, and within hours, the phrase Meghan's Yacht Days was trending around the world. But here's the twist no one expected. This wasn't just some rumor whispered in the dark.
Meghan Markle was introduced through Marcus Anderson to Sarah Ferguson.
Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess who's been silenced, cast aside, and revived more times than any royal in recent history, was now dropping hints about something far darker than anyone imagined. And this time, she wasn't backing away. Behind the palace doors, reports say Harry was left in complete shock. Palace aides scrambled in panic as the royal family's iron wall of silence started to crumble. What on earth did Fergie mean by first client? Why speak out now? And what hidden past could possibly link Meghan Markle, the Hollywood star turned Duchess, to Prince Andrew's notorious world?
According to people, she got started her yachting days and she never stopped really. I don't think any of her boyfriends knew about it, but Meghan Markle was known as a hardcore yacht partying person, ready for anything.
This isn't just another royal scandal. It's a story that threatens to rip open the monarchy's oldest and most painful wounds. As more voices start to speak up, one chilling question hangs over every whispered conversation in Windsor. Did Fergie slip up and tell the truth? Or did she intentionally strike the match that could set everything ablaze? Because what happened next, absolutely no one was prepared for.
Was a yacht girl. That's right. It's mentioned in the book. Meghan used to entertain as a yacht girl. Now, I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it happened, but I am saying Harry knows it.
It started just like any other royal weekend, quiet charity lunches, polished smiles, and that perfect display of practiced elegance. But beneath all that poise, something dangerous was brewing. Whispers about a loose remark from Sarah Ferguson had already begun circulating among royal insiders long before the public ever caught a hint of it. At first, no one believed it. After all, Fergie had survived decades of relentless tabloid chaos. She knew better than anyone how a single careless word could spark a full-blown inferno. But this time, she didn't seem to care at all. During a private event in Mayfair, surrounded by a blend of seasoned aristocrats and hungry journalists, Fergie reportedly made a comment that hit like a thunderclap. "People forget," she said with that unmistakable grin, "Meghan's first royal connection wasn't Harry." The room froze. Someone let out a shaky laugh, hoping it was a joke. It wasn't.
I wonder if Prince Andrew's going to come out and say, "Hey, Harry, I did your wife quite a few times on yachts before you got her."
Those words spread faster than champagne could hit a crystal glass. Within hours, phones were buzzing across Buckingham Palace as text after text carried the phrase Andrew's first client. It slipped into gossip group chats, then newsroom drafts, and before long, it was lighting up Twitter feeds everywhere. According to one insider, Harry refused to believe it. He'd heard whispers before, every royal had, but this time felt different. This time, the claim came from inside the palace itself, from someone who knew Prince Andrew better than anyone still walking those gilded halls. What could have been dismissed as idle chatter suddenly erupted into a full-blown credibility crisis. By midnight, royal correspondents were already connecting the dots, building timelines, and digging into Meghan's Hollywood years, those lavish yacht parties tied to Andrew's elite circle. Events long buried in secrecy were back in the spotlight, and the palace PR team was in chaos, offering quiet, no comments as reporters sharpened their next big story.
We also have this. This is Karina Shuliak, Epstein's girlfriend.
And the only times she traveled and went anywhere was with him. And guess who's in the other end with her Panama hat?
Behind the palace's golden doors, a dangerous question simmered, one no one dared say out loud. Was Fergie finally exposing a secret the royal firm had buried for years? Or was this her way of settling an old royal score? And if it was revenge, it was only just beginning. Long before the tiaras, the global interviews, and the Montecito mansions, Meghan Markle lived in a world driven by ambition, networking, and constant reinvention. Hollywood was brutal to newcomers, and Meghan learned that lesson early. Between small acting gigs, red carpet appearances, and charity galas, she built her image piece by piece, every smile calculated, every move intentional. Always poised, always strategic. But behind that flawless charm burned a relentless hunger to climb higher, to escape the anonymity that swallowed countless dreamers in Los Angeles. Those who knew her back then still talk about her captivating presence, how she could walk into a crowded room of producers and somehow leave with everyone remembering her name. She glided effortlessly through elite circles, mingling with business magnates, A-list celebrities, and even a few figures closely tied to royalty who attended the same glittering luxury events.
Epstein was also Harvey Weinstein, very prominent. There were members. Meghan Markle was just one of the working girls for Soho House. Call girl, working girl, escort, whatever you want to call it. That's what she was.
Among those glittering social scenes were the exclusive yacht parties, lavish floating playgrounds where introductions were made, deals were sealed, and reputations could rise or crumble overnight. These weren't the sleazy spectacles tabloids love to exaggerate, but they were far from innocent too. The connections built on those decks often came with whispers, quiet favors, and debts no one ever put in writing. Rumors suggest Meghan may have attended a few of these elite gatherings while carving out her place in the spotlight, chasing visibility among the rich and powerful. There's no solid proof, just fragments of sightings, unnamed sources, and old photos that mysteriously resurfaced years later. But it was exactly that haze of half-truths that made Fergie's words cut so deep. By tying Meghan's so-called yacht days to Prince Andrew's infamous circle, Fergie didn't just toss out gossip, she rewrote Meghan's pre-royal history in the public imagination. For the tabloids, it was irresistible, the actress who conquered Hollywood, and then the palace, possibly linked to its most scandalous figure. True or not, the story carried explosive power, because in the royal world, perception burns far hotter than proof. And Fergie understood that better than anyone.
Andrew, have you noticed how he completely avoids looking at Meghan Markle when she's around him or when she was around him?
To truly understand the shock of Fergie's words, you have to step into the complicated shadow of Prince Andrew, a man once praised as a royal war hero, now forever linked to scandal and disgrace. For years, Andrew floated through life with unchecked privilege, basking in luxury, rank, and endless access to the world's most exclusive circles. From lavish island getaways to glittering yacht parties across the Mediterranean, he embodied the very idea of royal excess. Those who once moved in his orbit describe him as a man addicted to opulence, obsessed with prestige, and constantly surrounded by people who fueled both. But that golden illusion shattered fast. His ties to powerful financiers and questionable figures dragged his name into the mud, turning every appearance into a headline of shame. The notorious friendship with Jeffrey Epstein and that disastrous BBC interview that humiliated the monarchy, each event cracked his reputation even further. By the time Fergie's alleged comments surfaced, Andrew was already seen as the royal family's weakest link, the one member they could no longer defend without paying a steep price. And that's exactly what made this supposed connection to Meghan so explosive. It wasn't just a casual dig, it was a royal detonation. It tied the Duchess, already one of the most divisive figures in the monarchy, to the darkest and most damaging chapter in modern royal history.
Here we have Andrew, with whom looks like Marcus Anderson. This is in 2001 when Meghan Markle would have allegedly been on third year. Meghan Markle hardly spent any time at Northwestern University.
The simple idea that Meghan might have crossed paths with Prince Andrew's inner circle long before marrying Harry was enough to send tabloids into a frenzy. For the royal firm, it was nothing short of a nightmare. Two of the monarchy's most controversial names suddenly tangled in one explosive story. While Andrew remained silent, tucked away from public view, Fergie's words gave new life to his shadow, one that stretched dangerously across Meghan's polished image. Because when Andrew's name resurfaces, silence is never an option. And when Sarah Ferguson speaks, the world usually listens out of curiosity, but this time, her words struck like lightning through royal society. At what was supposed to be a quiet, off-the-record London soiree, Fergie reportedly leaned in, flashing that mischievous grin she's known for, and dropped a line that froze the entire room. Let's just say Meghan was Andrew's first client. Her tone was light, almost teasing, but everyone there felt the atmosphere change instantly. Those few words carried the weight to scorch reputations and spark chaos. Within hours, whispers turned into leaks. By the next morning, journalists were circling like hawks, analyzing every syllable and motive. Did Fergie mean client as a clever jab, a metaphor for Meghan's strategic networking? Or was she hinting at something far more literal, something buried deep in Andrew's dark and controversial past? The uncertainty only made the storm grow louder.
I know what you're going to say. Maybe it was just that one trip. No, there were quite a few trips. There's actually quite a lot of pictures about them. There are 2 pictures that leaked.
Fergie, as always, played her part perfectly, neither confirming nor denying what she said. Instead, she slipped into that familiar rhythm of denial mixed with charm, offering subtle smiles to reporters, the kind that reveal everything while pretending to say nothing at all. Inside the palace, though, tempers reportedly flared. Communications teams scrambled to shield senior royals from the backlash, while hushed voices whispered that Fergie had gone completely off script again. But beneath all that outrage, a quieter truth simmered. She knew exactly what she was doing. Ferguson's entire public life has thrived on that dangerous balance between confession and chaos. This wasn't a careless slip, it was a deliberate spark. By linking Meghan's name to Andrew's notorious past, Fergie didn't just stir gossip. She reshaped the royal story in one calculated move. Suddenly, Meghan's silence looked suspicious. Harry's anger seemed understandable, and the world waited for a reaction that never came. And just when it seemed like the storm might fade, a new question began to form. Why now? Every royal revelation carries a motive, and Sarah Ferguson's bombshell was no different. To understand why she might drop such a loaded statement, you have to look back at her long and twisted dance with the monarchy, a story full of exile, redemption, and endless reinvention. Fergie has never been a stranger to scandal. From her infamous toe-sucking headlines to her financial troubles and televised apologies, she's lived through the entire royal roller coaster of disgrace and survival. Every time the royal family pushed her out, she clawed her way back, smiling, gracious, yet always calculating. So why bring up Meghan now? What was she really trying to set in motion?
Be also happening that the royal family is saying, hey, if you put a book out about Meghan Markle and completely destroy everything and really tell the people how Meghan met Harry.
Some insiders believe this was revenge, a quiet but sharp act of payback for all the years Fergie was treated as an outsider by the very institution that later welcomed Meghan with open arms. Others think it was her way of reclaiming power, forcing her way back into a royal narrative that had long erased her voice. There's also the chance that she was simply playing the media like a pro, stirring up controlled chaos to grab attention just as royal headlines began shifting away from her. Some even whisper that Ferguson may have been trying to protect Andrew, diverting the spotlight from his scandals by creating an even bigger distraction. Whatever her reason, one thing is certain, Fergie knows the power of timing better than anyone. She survived decades of humiliation by mastering the art of selective truth-telling, feeding the press just enough drama to stay relevant while keeping herself untouchable. And this moment might be her boldest gamble yet. With a single sentence, she managed to pull global focus back onto herself, reopen old royal wounds, and reclaim a place in the headlines she once ruled. Whether driven by strategy or desperation, Fergie once again proved her unmatched talent for chaos. But the real question is, what did she hope to gain from lighting this fire? The morning after her alleged comment exploded across the tabloids, Buckingham Palace was thrown into silent crisis. No official statement, no press briefings, just an eerie wall of quiet, thicker than the palace gates themselves. Behind that composed front, however, panic reigned. Advisors rushed through emergency meetings, phones rang without pause, and senior courtiers scrambled to contain a scandal that had already spun far beyond their control. Every branch of the royal family suddenly felt the heat, and no one wanted to be the first to make a move.